Good morning, everybody. Welcome to beautiful Titusville, Florida. Temperatures in the 70s. A beautiful day here for the Florida Rugby Union State Championships. First game on the docket here at 10 a.m. St. Pete Pelicans D3 versus the Brevard Red-Eyes, defending state champions. My name is Ross Davenport. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. Brevard will be in their traditional red with black trim, black shorts and red socks. Pellies in their traditional navy and yellow, white shorts and navy socks. They'll be going from left to right on your camera. Brevard from right to left. Big news coming into today. Brevard missing 3 key players from their starting 15. Sean Hybrid Prager, influential veteran back row player. He's out with a hamstring injury, as well as Dwayne Parks, that veteran wingers slash center. He is out today as well. So Brevard and Coach Kiwi Nevin a little short-handed. He's out with a hamstring injury. Well, Pellies D3 in their first D3 championship game. Coached today by Nick Fraser. Graham Canoop is the coach of their D2 side. He'll be assisting in this game. The D2 team will play after this in the D2 championship game against Fort Lauderdale. Our referee in the center today for this D3 match is Mark Hawkeye Hawkins, being assisted by Jeff Moose Brill on the near side here, as Alfredo Lopez on the far side. Our fourth official is Bruce Swallow. Only a slight breeze here. See the flags in the corners not moving at all. We're not going to have a change of assistant referee sides. Alfredo Lopez coming to camera near side, and Moose Brill to the far side. Brock Roper, former Arkansas State Red Wolf, ready to kick off for Brevard. Referee Hawkins checks his watch. First game of 4 today here from the Gibson Sports Complex. I'll be with you all day. And we're underway with the dropout by Brock Roper. Good claim there by De La Vega. Into contact. Obviously, as always, the breakdown, a key area. We have an early penalty here, not releasing or hands past the ball and backwards by Martin Perrins, the number 7 for Brevard. Early penalty there. Referee Hawkins setting the standard at the breakdown. Pelicans will kick to touch here on the near side. It will be their throw, just their side of the halfway line. Both these teams with plenty of veteran presences on the 15s. Tons of guys over the age of 30. Sure, the bench will play a big factor. Good claim at the back there by Paramo. And a good drive down to the Brevard 10. Spun left here. First pod. Gets to the gain line. Scrum half for Pelly is Calvin Eels. And we have a turnover there, poached by the Red-Eyes. Now we're going to have a penalty in from the side. Is the Pelly's hooker, Keith Perry. So it'll be Brevard penalty just inside, just outside their 10-meter line. Roper will kick to touch here on the near side. That one was almost kept in play by a diving Alex Arazzini. And he did knock it off a Brevard player. Came off Escalera. And out for Pelly's throw. Great job there by Arazzini to keep that ball in play. Obviously the law has changed a few years ago. You can now jump into touch. You don't have to land in play. I'm going to say it may have been a knock forward. There's a signal from Hawkins. A knock forward by Arizini, so the effort goes to waste, unfortunately. And it will be our first scrum of the afternoon. David Sugimoto, 42-year-old veteran here at scrum half for Brevard. Originally from Elizabeth City, North Carolina, played his college rugby at NC State. And we got an early pop-up here at the hooker spot. Christian Zelenka at the 2 for Brevard. Referee having a word with him and John Glenn in the tight head. See if the second scrum is a little more successful. That's better. Collapsing a little bit on this near side, and it's gone down. And it will be a penalty for the Pellies. Brevard taking it down on the loose head side here. John Glennon penalised as he loses the battle with the Pellies tight head. Martin De La Vega. Flurry of early penalties here. Referee Hawkins setting the standard early, as you certainly should do in a championship game situation. So it will be a Pellies throw here, about 30 meters out from the Brevard line. Chance to attack here. Looks like it will be just a 4-man line out for Bay Area. Throw by Keith Perry is a good one. Brevard weren't initially challenging and then decided to contest it more. And a good 5 meters gained there by the Pellies off the back of that line out. Here on the crash ball here is Walker from the 12 spot. Looking to go right now, switching the point of attack. Brian Rootbright with the carry. A loose head. Good quick ball for the Pellies on the inside channel run. And it's a good one by the outside center, Kamaroy. Down to within 8 meters of the Brevard line, and another penalty here. And it's taken quickly by the Pellies. Austin, within 5 meters now. Pelicans challenging the line. And they are in. Mark Hawkins with a great view of it. Not sure who got the ball down. Pellies won't care. An early try for Bay Area. Conversion will be taken by Dion Opperman. Man out of South Africa, formerly played for Tampa Crew. His dad also played top-level rugby in South Africa for Western Province. He's a USA High School All-American was Dion Opperman. He'll look to convert this try and make it an early 7-point lead for the Pellies. Kick is on its way, and it looks good from my angle, and it is. Bay Area straight first here in Titusville. Came across the state on a big bus with their D2 side this morning. So Brevard with some work to do here. There's the kickoff, claimed well by Pellies. Chopped down immediately by Martin Parens, the flanker for Brevard. Pellies going deep here. That's going to force the Brevard backline to retrieve. Spinning it wide now to Betts. He cuts back inside and he's made a break here. Darian Betts. Gain of about 20 to 30 yards there, up to the Pellies 10. Good quick ball for the Red Eye. Roper now. Straight run here. Walker Another big game by the Brevard backline. There goes Van der Elst. Brevard trying to answer immediately. And a second movement, perhaps. Yeah, it's going to be a no try for Brevard. Referee Hawkins determining that the Brevard player made a secondary movement to get that ball over the line. I'll get you a number for him once he turns around. He's unhappy with himself, the Brevard player, for the penalty. It was number 7, Martin Perrins. That kick will not reach touch. Brevard now with a chance to counter-attack. It's the big man, Van der Elst. Big run in the channel by Jonathan Scheimer. Big tackle in return by the Pellies. Glennon with the carry now. Gets a couple of yards. That was Ulysse Gillard with the carry, and now out wide to Escalera. Escalera cuts back inside, breaks a couple of Pellies tackles, taken down by the ankles. Here's a big run by Zelenka. Brevard challenging again. Sugimoto. Ball's a little slow. Now they're spinning it wide. Roper. Jinks inside. Taken down there. Good clear out there by his teammates. Sugimoto's there directing traffic. Henderson now on the carry. Still a few meters out from that Pellies line. Brevard looking to tie this game here. Carried by Urbansic. Now they go wide. Carried by Walker. He's brought down again, just short. Brevard knocking on the door here. Pellies defense hanging in strong though. And it will be a Brevard try, will it not? It looked like he got it down, but Hawkeye was out of position. He's going to say it was held up. Or is referee Hawkins is going to talk to his assistant referee, and it will be a try. Kyle Freiberg, I think, with the touchdown. Certainly a forward that flopped over. And the try does count for the home team on the scoreboard. Good response from the Red Eye after that early deficit. It will be Roper to try and tie things up here. Minutes into this one, Brock Roper looking to tie this one. A relatively easy kick. It's on the way, and good. So just over 10 minutes in, we're all tied up here in the D3 Championship final. Pellies with the restart, relatively deep. Half claimed there by Perrins. Bit of a fumble, and now Brevard chucking it around inside their own 22, a little riskily. Big bit of contact there. I think that was Urbansic maybe. Roper now will look to clear. Brevard with a nice deep run last season in the D3 National Championships before losing in Austin. Looking to get at least that far again this year, said Coach Kiwi Nevin. Mentioned missing 3 key players today. He still thought they should be fine without him. He converted referee Kiwi Nevin, as is Rod Otero, who will be coaching Fort Lauderdale in the D2 final. Good win off the top by Pellies. Big carry by Doherty. Stops at the gain line though by Brevard. Now Pelly swing it wide. A little dummy by Barra. Laid off to Cameroy, and now Pelly's challenging again. That's a huge tackle there by Perrins, knocking Paramo backwards to number 5 for Bay Area. Still Pelly's ball here though. Good tackle by Matthew Henderson with the 6 jersey on. And this one's kicked forward by Walker. Betts is chasing it. He can't get there. It'll go into touch for a throw in on the far side. First try for Pelly's was by number 2, Keith Perry. Will be a line out here for the Pellies, midway inside the Brevard half. It's been a very crisp game so far, not too many handling errors, well-made tackles. Pellies on the front foot now, it's a good break by the yellow and blue. Jack Barrow chopped down there, a little chip through. Van Dale's back there, looking to get his quick feet going. He almost broke the first tackle. Taken down there by Mike Piazza, not the baseball player. First pod run here by Brevard. Number 12 for Pellies might need to roll away, or he could get penalised here. Brevard do have the ball. There was some groans from the crowd. Jack Barrett did not roll away particularly quickly at that breakdown. Aropa will go deep here. Looking perhaps for a 50-22. No, it will be kept in play by Alex Harazzini. Actually would have been the reverse 50-22. Getting my halves mixed up. Now Pelly's checking it around the 10-meter line. Here's Artis. Drops it off to Barra. He's taken down. Still Pelly's ball though. As they approach the Brevard 10-meter line. Here they go, pounding again. Zach Austin now, wearing number 17. He is playing second row though. A little chip through here by Louis Verdu. Grabbed by Van Delst. And he will not mess around. And smash it into touch. That's a good kick by Van der Elst. Former Syracuse University man out of Cape Town, South Africa. Also played sevens here in Florida for the Stormers as well as Finn Rugby. Very dangerous man with ball in hand for Kiwi Nevins men. There will be a line out here, about 8 meters inside the Pelly's half. Keith Perry will throw it in, the try scorer. Went short. Good go forward ball here by the Pellies, up to halfway. And they'll go back deep into the saddle. Little chip through. There's right at Escalera. Good grab by him, and he'll get inside the Pelly's half. Brevard now. Sugimoto. Ball's a little slow. Roper's going to spin it this time. And they're going to go wide with Gillard. Ulysses Gillard. Brought down, not much help there. It's probably a chance for a quick counter ruck. No, it will be a penalty advantage to Brevard instead. Referee Hawkins with the off your feet signal at the breakdown. It was a good run by Ulysses Gillard, but he was left a little isolated. Brevard will take it quickly. And there's the turnover. Kelly's immediately with the ball back, and they'll look to go deep. That one is straight out of play. Pelly's kicker was outside his 22, so we'll come back to the mark where it was kicked from. We'll have a Brevard line out there. "17 minutes into this first half. You're just joining us. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. Ross Davenport with you. Pelly's with the opening try. Brevard tied up a few minutes later. An entertaining game so far, as all of these games should be today. Expecting 4 close contests. Here's the line out for Brevard. We have the 5-man variety. Off the top is Jonathan Scheimer with the grab. We're going to have a free kick for Pelly. He's not sure the decision there. So to have a free kick here, those of you new to rugby, they can kick to touch here, but it would come back to where the ball was kicked from. We'll see if Dion Opperman puts it up or if they choose to just run it. The 2 popular options there. Opperman looks like he's just going to bomb it downfield and keep it in play. And he does. Back there is Darian Betts with space to run. Goes to his left looking for help. Now cuts back to his right, gets to the halfway line, but taken down there by Zach Austin. Roper swings it wide. Morgan, that's a huge hit there by Aldo Cameroy. Man from Jakarta, Indonesia. Played some serious levels, both union and league. Brevard now. Van Elst on the inside run from Roper. A little switch play. Didn't quite come off perfectly. But Brevard do win at the breakdown. There's Roper. There's some claims for offside in the Pelly's backs. A run here by Jonathan Scheimer again. Had some good solid carries today. Ball's a little slow. Roper deep in the saddle. He'll just have to go deep with it. Pelly's will go straight up in the air. Right back to Roper, who's in good position. Roper pings it now right back to the fullback for the Pelly's, Dion Opperman. Now with plenty of options. We'll keep playing some kick tennis here. Opperman back to Roper. This time a good chase by Opperman and he brings him down. Roper's got support though. Lance O'Sullivan with the tight run. Gains a good 10 yards there. Does the big second row. Oh, there's trouble here. That's trouble. That's trouble. That's an interception. And it's going to be a try for Aldo Cameroy between the posts. No, it's not. There will be a penalty here. It will come back for a penalty. It was a sloppy ball from Brevard. Just thrown up for grabs. Perhaps for offside. On that far side. No, not releasing, says referee Hawkins. Was playing advantage. Brevard get away with one there. It was some real sloppy passing. Basically handed to Cameroy. Had nobody anywhere near him. But Pelly's keep this one in. Brock Roper misses touch. No, he doesn't. Well, referee, I don't see a flag up from Jeff Berlin as now the flag is up. Past the halfway mark here in this first half. Ross Davenport with you. 7-7 in this first Florida Rugby State Championship game of the day. This is the D3 Championship game. Brevard, defending champions, looking to retain their title. It's been a strange D3 season. These two teams did not play each other in the regular season because of the way the schedule was set up. So the first time they're seeing each other. Well, that's a complete mess of a line out by Brevard. Not going to be not straight. It looked like it was going to the front. So Jonathan Scheimer. The timing was all off. And then ended up being not straight. So it will be a scrum here for the Pellies. Midway inside their half. A little bit of a tussle on the front row here. Mark Hawkins, our referee today, originally from England. Been refereeing for a number of years here in Florida, based in the St. Pete Bay Area, Tampa vicinity. He is unfortunately a Wolverhampton Wanderers fan on the soccer side of things, but it can't all be perfect. Let's see if we can get the scrum going. Second attempt here. Calvin Eels with the put in. It's going to be a free kick for Pellies, perhaps for an early drive or an early engage. We haven't even got to the drive stage. It will be a free kick here again for Pellies. Last time they just went deep with it. It looks like that may be the plan again here. Van der Elst and Betts are back there. That's a great kick. Superb kick. Stays in. It does go out into touch there. And it was taken quickly by Van der Elst. Wasn't sure if referee Hawkins was going to let it go, and he did. Now here come Brevard. Walker out wide to Escalera. He's got the pace to beat Pellies down the outside. He's going to go all the way. Edwin Escalera, the man from Puerto Rico. Also played college rugby at Arkansas State. Took the pass from Walker. Went a good 50 plus yards down the left sideline to give Brevard the 12-7 lead. It was the quick throw in by Jean-Eric Van der Elst, the man from South Africa, that really started things on that far side. Pellies weren't ready. Came after a great free kick from the Pellies that pinned Brevard, or potentially pinned Brevard back inside their own 22, but Van der Elst, some great improvisation, took it quickly. And speaking of quickly, Escalera down that left sideline for the try to put Brevard up here, 12-7 with 16 minutes to go in this first half. Brock Roper looking for the conversion attempt now. Escalera, 21-year-old, played, mentioned at Arkansas State, also played for Daytona as well as Rolls-Royce Sevens, where this man kicking the ball here. Brock Roper played as well. It was his team. He's played some sevens over the years on the Florida Summit Circuit. Here's Roper's conversion attempt. And that kick is straight and true. Brevard now 14-7 lead. Looking to defend their title here. You might be able to hear there's a model plane doing loop-de-loops on the field next door. There's not a drone that you hear in the background. Betts with the claim, just inside his own 22. Taking on Pelicans players. Not the biggest man in the world, Betts, but he's lost it. Pellies with the turnover, but there will be a penalty against Drake Doherty. Perhaps not releasing. I missed the secondary signals. I was checking my rosters. Roper safely to touch. Not the greatest of kicks from Brock. It will be a Brevard line out. 12 meters inside their own half. 14-7 Brevard here. Under 50 minutes remaining in the first half of this D3 championship. Thanks for everybody tuning in on YouTube. And it's turned over. Great snag there by Paramo. Alejandro Paramo. Big number 5 for the Pellies. And now a chance for them to get inside, deep inside this Brevard half. Here's the run by Cameroy, the man who almost scored a few minutes ago, but his interception was called back for a penalty. De La Vega on that carry. Big boys getting the ball here early for Pellies. Brian Root right now into contact. And there's a drop by Martin De La Vega, the man from Argentina. And it will be Brevard ball. First real silly mistake we've seen ball handling wise for either team here. Van der Elst with another good carry. These rucks have turned into a bit of a mess here. Pellies contesting hard but illegally. Roper with a little chip over the top into space. He will chase it with Roper. Looks like it was knocked on first by Roper, then by Pellies, so we'll come back, no advantage for the Red Eyes. We'll come back here for the penalties as they're racking up here. To take some steam out of the last 12 minutes here or so of this first half. We do have the clock running on the scoreboard. It's not an exact science. We're not stopping it when the referee stops it. There's that kick from Roper, a little better this time. Gets the Red Eyes inside the Pellies half. Once again, it'll be a 5-man line out for the men in red and black. Good claim there once again by Jonathan Scheimer. Sloppy ball though. Roper has to let it bounce. Looked like it had gone backwards, but referee Hawkins, his opinion is the only one that matters. He said it went forwards. So will be a scrum down here for the Pellies. We're now going to stop the clock here for a second. We got a Red Eye player down on the far side. Might be Scheimer. Referee Hawkins taking a look at his head. Appears to be okay to continue. Now Hawkins having a word with Jeff Brill on that far side. So after a short delay here, we'll restart play with a Pellies scrum on the Brevard 10-meter line. Center of the pitch. Pellies backs lined up on the right side here. Seen some good carries from both team centres so far tonight. We'll see if that continues here. Good scrum by both sides. They stay down. Here come Pellies, right side now. Big carry into the centres. Didn't catch a number from my angle. Zach Austin looked for support, decided to carry it himself and gained a few crucial yards, allowing his team to reset. Now here's Zach Austin. Eels out to root right. Getting more involved here now, the tight head. Now Pellies will spin it wide. A great grab there by Opperman. Slick hands from the big front row. Excuse me, by the fullback. Another penalty here, this time against Brevard. Breakdowns have been a bit of a mess so far in this one. Really the only negative in this game is the defensive actions at the breakdown have been illegal quite a few times. Dean Opperman just toes it into touch here. Will be a Pellies throw. 15 meters out or so from the Brevard line. As has been the theme today, they will go short as well with the 5-man option. Actually, it will just be a 3-man option here. Now a 4th coming in. And that's a good claim there by Alejandro Paramo, a man from Colombia. But it's turned over, stripped by the Red Eyes. And they will look to clear their lines here. Roper back on the goal line. And he'll clear the touch. Well, he'll try to clear the touch, but not for the first time tonight. Well, this morning, I should say. Roper has missed touch, and now here come the Pellies on the counter-attack. There was a break, but a forward pass. Break was by the scrum half Eels, but a forward pass determined, and it will come back for the scrum. Coming up after this one will be the D2 final. One of the more anticipated matchups of the day. Pellies A side against a Fort Lauderdale side. Made the first final for the first time in a long time. Sugimoto spins it out to Roper. This is a beauty. Almost all the way down to the Pellies 22. They're going to try and play their way out of here. Instead, Opperman just hoofs it down towards Roper, who's in perfect position again. Now they're going to look to run it. Van der Elst, we've seen what he can do today. Little goose step. Half breaks out the tackle. Definitely the quickest feet on this team. Van der Elst. Now here's Walker. He's a big load, Walker, up to halfway. Oh, excuse me. That was Gillard, Elise Gillard. Pelly's perhaps starting to tie here as we get into the final 8 minutes of this first half. Here's Roper, jinking inside. A good tackle though. That was Drake Doherty. Slow ball for Brevard, getting things sorted here, looking for the first pod. And there it is with Lance O'Sullivan on the carry, a tight one. Now here's Gillard again. He's driven back. Big hit there by Johan Desoy, the Pelly's 8-man. Brevard going backwards here, good defense. We'll call them the visitors coming over to this East Coast today. Sugimoto digs it out. Flips it to Kyle Freiberg. 39-year-old out of Cocoa Beach. But another knock on. The players got a little sloppy here over the last 10 minutes, hitting a few more drop balls as we get some tired legs and brains. And we have a stop of the clock here. Brevard number 4, Kyle Freiberg, down on one knee. We do have some hands on knees, some hands overhead. They get some water on for the boys, and now the whistle for the restart. It's only 64 degrees. It does feel like 71. It's a beautiful day for some quality rugby here in Titusville. See a nice central location for everybody. Obviously a short trip for the men in red and black here today. We have under 6 minutes remaining in this first half on the running clock. Just be aware that it does not account for stoppages. Solid scrum for Pelly's, good drive. Down to Louis Verdu, and in the interception, this time it's going to be legal, and this time it's for Brevard. And it's Ulysse Gillard under the posts. Lovely bit of anticipation by the man from Norfolk, Virginia. And he adds to the Brevard lead. Now 19-7 with 5 minutes remaining and a relatively easy kick here for Brock Roper. There is a bit of a conversation here between Mark Hawkins and his assistant referee on that far side, Jeff Brill, but the try will count. And Brevard looking to pull away 2 points further here. Roper's kick is a good one. Makes it 21-7. So one interception for each team that went for tries. One was called back due to a penalty for Pelly's. That one was not. Ulysse Gillard, the 27-year-old, took it to the house. Pelly's going to have to be careful here. They don't give up another score before the break. Brevard have had over 40 people at practice most of the season. Has great numbers, set up a number of B-side games in the fall to get some newer players action. It's been a theme of all of these teams talking to their coaches this week. Making sure you've got that depth, making sure you have the retention of the newer players becomes so important in a game like this. And that's an unfortunate knock on there. Opperman made to pay for sloppiness. There will be a knock on and a penalty, and a scrum here for Brevard. Just over 3 minutes remaining, plus stoppage time. Can Brevard extend their lead? So it's a tight game for the first 25 minutes or so of this half, but Brevard now have taken control with superb back play. 2 great runs by Escalera down the left sideline, and then Gillard on the interception right up the gut. Good scrum by Brevard. Here's Walker for Gillard. Stopped there effectively by Cameroy. Roper now. Lovely little chip down that far sideline where it's difficult for me to see. We've got tents and spectators. Looks like it will be a Pelly's throw deep inside their own 22. And they took it quickly. Not a usual place to take a quick throw, especially when you're down 14 points, but looking for some momentum here, and they will get a penalty. So we'll see what Pelly's do. I assume they'll just go to touch via the boot of Opperman. Under 2 minutes remaining now, plus stoppage time, which is perhaps at least 1 or 2 minutes of that. So we'll be a line out here. Spoke to Graham Canute, who's the sort of overseer of both the D2 and D3 sides. He's so proud of his teams getting to this final. And they have 2 separate sides, 2 separate coaching staffs. And that's a good win off the top by Pelly's. Good crash ball here in the middle of the park. Verdu just knock it into Brevard territory, but you don't want to give the ball to this man with space to run. Van der Elst now. Good tackle. Sugimoto out to Escalera. So this is Escalera on this left side. We've seen him score 1 try down there tonight, or today. I should get somebody find me every time I say tonight. Used to doing soccer games in the evening, and Brevard are taken into touch with under a minute to play. Verdu's kick to Van der Elst was a good one, but Brevard gained the territory now, back to almost where Pelly started with it, just outside the 22 now. Cut back inside now, looking to break some tackles. That's the Pelly's number 8, Johan de Soy. And the strip by Brevard. His time is up on the clock for 40, but we do have stoppage time. Pelly's have got it back though, knock on it by Brevard. Can Bay Area find one last score here to make things a little tighter before the break? It will be a penalty advantage, not releasing. I think it was perhaps knees on the ground. So Opperman will look to put this one deep into Brevard territory. There's a good kick by Opperman. Be a throw in here. And line out for the visitors. A couple of yards outside the Brevard 22. Be a huge scoop here if the Pellies could put some points on the board before the break. Cameroy with a big carry, and it's stripped again. Brevard with the turnover. Ball was out though, says Hawkins. There's nobody there to ruck for Brevard, and Pelly's claimed it, but now Brevard have turned it right back over. But it will be a penalty here now. See, coming in from the side, killing the ball. Some pointing at Kyle Freiberg here, and I went to stop the clock on the scoreboard at 40 and instead turned the scoreboard off, but it is 21-7 Brevard at the moment, I can promise you this. This may be the last kick of the half. It could be a big one if the Pelicans can cut into this deficit. Would make it a 21-10 game. Opperman to take it. Certainly not a very difficult kick for a man of his caliber. Opperman steps up and slots it through. That'll make it 21-10 at the break. Pelicans with a last-second penalty there to pull within 11 points. We'll be back with you here for the second half. Stick with us from Titusville. Your halftime score, Brevard 21, Bay Area Pelicans 10. Ross Davenport back here with you in Titusville to get ready for the kickoff here. Start the second half. Brevard up 21-10 at the break in this D3 Men's Championship. I'll let you know if we have any substitutions. I don't see any just yet. I expect we'll see some in the first 15 to 20 minutes of this half. Tries by Escalera and Gillard. The result different so far in this game. 7-7 until that point. Pelly's with a late penalty at the whistle to get this game to 11 points as Mark Hawkins signals we're ready to go. Opperman gets us underway. Good grab there by Scheimer. He's been impressive at the 8-man spot so far tonight. Carry there by Matthew Henderson now. Roper deep back there, perhaps looking to clear, but they're going to go short right side. Carry by Zelenka. Now back to Roper, deep inside his 22. He'll knock it all the way down where Louis Verdu is at his own 10-meter line with some room to run. The scrum half. Excuse me, Calvin Eels, excuse me. He gets over the halfway line, but slow ball for the Pellies. Now Brevard with the big counter rock. May have turned that one over. No, they're going to say, Hawkins is going to say a penalty for Brevard, much to the disgust of their fans on the sideline. Pelly just didn't commit enough to that ruck, and it was looked like a good chance for a turnover. That not the best kick there by Opperman. Gains maybe 8 yards. It will be their throat. Just looking for some possession here. Get some momentum, some go forward. Try and make this a one-score game. We're looking for the ball. It's gone over the bleachers. I do have somebody now on the official clock, Kirk Swanner, president of the Florida Collegiate Conference, so the clock is exact now. We'll be stopping it when our referee tells us to stop it. We do have a substitution for St. Pete. Brian Rootbright, tight head prop is off. Alan Gankar on in the front row. Here's Verdu, looking to find a hole. Nothing there. Pelly's still with the ball though, going right side. Now they'll switch it back to the left. Get some phases going. Tire out some of these Brevard players. Alejandro Paramo with the carry. Now Heel spins it wide. Cameroy trying to break a tackle. Brevard tackles have been true here on this possession, and now the strip. Not the first today. This time Martin Parents. And now a chance for Brevard to break. Walker, he stops at the halfway line. And a good carry. We're going to have perhaps accidental offside. I was saying it's going to be Brevard ball. Not sure what happened there. Mentioned the substitution, Alan Gankar on at the tight head spot for Pelly's first substitution of the afternoon. Each team does get 8, assuming they have the full 23, which I think both these teams do today. Brevard scrum here on the half. That's a good shove by Pelly's. Brevard going backwards. They need to get this ball out quickly. They do, but as a result of the shove, it was sloppy. Escalera now. Score earlier. Walker into contact. Walker still going, was on the knee and looking for a release, didn't get it. Roper now was looking for the little chip over the top, but fakes it instead. Roper, I think, lost possession there. Pellies were looking for the knock on and will get it. A bit of a delayed call by referee Hawkins. May have got some help from the sideline, from his assistant referee.
It's amazing what some radios can do, huh?
All these referees are mic'd up today. Hawkins was perhaps on the wrong side of that tackle and didn't see the knock initially, but he was helped out by Jeff Brill. Just had a baby a couple of weeks ago. Congratulations to Moose on the near sideline here. Yeah, Moose, a former high-level player in Florida, played Some very high level sevens, even at the national level. Camera right now. Man who had the big interception called back earlier. Zach Austin on the carry, the big second row, and that ball spills backwards. Well played though by Calvin Eales, but his pass is a little loose. Still with Pellies, but they're going backwards here. This one's spun wide. Arizini, he dinks inside. Walker's hanging on to him, getting taken for a ride. It's Paramo on the carry again. Oh, that one was almost dropped. Pelly's still with it here. Good bit of possession here to start the second half, but once again, sloppy hands. Brevard. Well, I thought Brevard, I was going to say, it was a knock on by Pellies. Brevard had a split second advantage, but that knocked it on themselves. So we'll come back for the Brevard scrum. We have time off for a Brevard player down. It looks like Escalera.
Big center.
Medic on the pitch. I think it may be Escalera, the winger. The left winger for Brevard. Holding his head. He'll get back to his feet here though. We'll see if he's able to continue. He scored that lovely try from about the halfway line. Screwed it down that left sideline. Just turned the burners on. Left Pelly's in the dust. We're 5 minutes into the second half here. Brevard looking to retain their Division 3 Florida title as referee Hawkins taking a look at Escalera, making sure he's able to continue. Obviously no HIA here at this level, so it will be the referee's decision and all the coaches.
Much to people's chagrin, there is no HIA.
Yeah, some people still come up now and again and think there is an HIA, but it's not the case at this level in the United States. See if Pellies can get the big shove on this scrum again. And yes, they do. Brevard going backwards once more. That's a monster set piece play.
There's the penalty.
By the visitors. Scrums in the first half were relatively competitive, but these first two in the second half have not been. And worrying signs for Kiwi Nevin and the boys in red and black. Opperman will just find touch here. Does find touch. It will be a line out here for the Pellies. Halfway inside the Brevard 22. And go for the four-man line out. Good snag there by Paramo. So we have an advantage for the Pellies as well. Free play here. Jack Barrett barrels through a couple of Brevard defenders. Pellies go left side here. Opperman carrying Brevard tacklers with him. Is he going to get held up on another strip? This time by Jean-Eric Vanderhaus, but he will come back for the penalty on that initial line out. It was sacked, yeah, the sack, the pull down before the player had reached, before the jumper had reached the ground in the line out. So we'll see what the Pellies do here. Calvin Eales has it in his hands. Looks like they're going to go for the tap and go. Brevard on their own goal line defensively. Ball's handed off.
Big number one's got it.
I think it may be Robert Leake that came on, not Gankar. The big carry by the big man, Big Rob. It looks like it's going to be held up. As we know, the laws changed recently, a few years ago now, so it's now a goal line drop, but Rock Roper looking to go quick with it. Risky business though when you're back down there on your own goal line. When it's dropped, but backwards by Arizini. Verdu picks it up, looking for help. Does a good job there, staying on his feet and waiting for support. Pellies now will try once again to get back inside that Brevard 22. Verdu to Cameroy. brought down. It's been good tackling today so far by that Brevard backline. Here's Alan Artis. Pelly's up nearly to the Brevard 22. De La Vega, sloppy pass. They're going to say it was knocked on by Brevard. De La Vega got away with one there. And we'll have a scrum here for the visitors from the West Coast. And we will have a penalty after a discussion. Perhaps some verbal. Either way, it will be Brock Roper now to knock one into the Pelly's half. Perhaps won't reach the half though. Shank that one a little bit. Not straight. There'll be a scrum down here for the Pellies. Not great set piece work there by Brevard. They had a chance to take some sting out of this hot start to the second half by the Pellies, but they keep giving it back to them. So scrum down here, just inside the Brevard 10-meter line. So we've got Jack Barrow almost at 10 with Louis Verdu just inside him. So we'll redo the scrum here. Pellies have won the last 2 defensive scrums in big time fashion. They'll just be looking to lock out and hold here. Make sure we get a good ball at the back. It's going to be a penalty against the Brevard loosehead, John Glennon. A binding issue. And Opperman will look to put this one inside the Brevard 22. And that one was tried to be kept in by Darian Betts, but just couldn't get up there enough. Maybe a Pelly's throw here as we reach the 10-minute mark. Gone in this second half, still 21-10 Brevard.
16 Brevard.
Is it? Not straight. Once again, more set piece trouble. Both sides here having trouble with the set pieces in the second half. Brevard scrum's been going backwards. Lineouts have been sloppy. So Brevard will choose the lineout option. Will be thrown in by Martin Parens. He goes short to Tyler Abansik, who then runs into Parens. Brevard, I think, have maintained possession, though. Yes, they have. They'll look to perhaps run a couple of bangers and then clear this out. Roper back inside his own in goal, and he will hoof it away, but not into touch. Opperman now from Brevard 10, looking for help. Missed tackled by Betts. Walker, as well as Parens, combined to bring him down, though. And now perhaps Pelly's here with a chance. Verdu, not sure if that was the right decision. Ooh, that was a big collision between Artis and Parens, and Artis won it. Parens just bounced off him. He's the big number 1 for Pelly's, big Rob. Now going left. Brought down there is the scrum half, Calvin Eales. You'll need some help here at the breakdown. He's got it. Pelly's will look to slow things down. As with their D2 side, Bay Area do have some big boys in that front 5. Looking to use it to their advantage here and tire out some of these Brevard players. Now they'll spin it wide. Cameroy gains a couple down this left sideline. Back to Gankar. He slips it back inside, but it's lost forward. Will be a penalty here, though, for offside. Brevard sneaking in front of that back foot. Is the tide turning here perhaps a little bit? Pellies need to take advantage of these trips into the Brevard 22 though. They've had a couple already in this half in the first 12 minutes and they've come away with nothing. And Opperman will look just to poke this one as close as he can to the Brevard goal line. And look to perhaps catch and drive. Here's the line out, and it's dropped. Paramo, it did go backwards though, I think, and now Big Rob with the carry. He's a big lad, flies down from New York for games. Now Pelly's knocking on the door here, trying to cut this to a one-score game. And it's in! Pelly's over the line. Is it?
Big beard. Number 18, right there, he's swinging it backwards.
Number 18 with the try. According to my roster, that is Robert Leaks. But number 1 is also changed. The number 1 jersey has changed hands already, so I'm not sure who's who at the moment when it comes to some of these players, so apologies. Opperman's kick is off to the right. I'll make it 21-10. Excuse me, 21-15, excuse me. So that's a big miss for Opperman. It was certainly a very makeable kick. Now that means they'll need a converted try to take the lead rather than an unconverted try, but certainly these first 15 minutes of the second half have been mostly Pelly's. It's certainly been all played inside the Red Eyes half. As always, we'll see where the depth of these teams are over these last 25 plus minutes. Roper now with the drop out, excuse me. Paramo now.
There's a try score there.
Your try scorer there, number 18. We're going to go with Big Rob. Robert Leaks. Former Tallahassee man, Atlanta Old White. And that is a mistake there by the Pellies. That one goes straight into touch. So it'll come all the way back to where that was kicked from, which is going to be just outside the Pellies 22. Big mistake there. Potential for a momentum change now. You know how dangerous these Brevard backs can be. We've seen it today with tries from Gillard as well as Escalera. Walker's had some good carries. Van der Elst has been impressive from the 15 spot. Here's the throw. Tap by Scheimer. Down to Sugi. Lovely little sidestep by Roper. Inside to Walker. He can't break a tackle. Back to Roper again. Gillard with the stiff arm. He's looking to feed Betts, but he was running out of space on this near sideline, and he does indeed run out of space. I think. Jeffrill's got to get that flag up. There will be a penalty for a high tackle. Van der Elst wants to go quick. Not sure his teammates agree with that decision. They're trying to get there though. Van der Elst inside the 22. Good quick ball. Back to Lance O'Sullivan now. Space out left here. Walker. Out to Gillard. Out to Escalera, looking for his second try of the day, and he'll find the corner. Took a knock in the head earlier, but it's clearly shaken that off, and 2 tries today for Edwin Escalera, the man from Puerto Rico. And a quick answer by the Red Eyes to get their double-digit lead right back. Now 26 15. Conversion pending. Cleo Walker is the top try scorer for this team, but he sucked in that Pelly's defense there and handed it out wide to Escalera. Finished nicely via Gillard. And here's Brock Roper now, looking to get now what will be a 13-point lead. The strike is decent. Roper's leaning. No good. Can't tell from this angle which way it missed. So the score will remain 26-15 in favor of the Red Eyes. Big answer there when needed by Kiwi Nevin's men. Kiwi Nevin said that he felt with Palm Beach leaving D3 last year that they almost won by default. So they got tested by several teams though. Obviously had that devastating late loss to Austin Blacks, looking to get back there. They'd love to repeat matchup against them in the postseason as that ball is straight into touch. Another mistake by Opperman. Kiwi Nevin was saying that they may lose a few more to retirement after this year. Number of players over the age of 35 on this Red Eye squad. Is this their sort of last run at a potential national title? They got close last year. So the line out here right in front of us on the halfway line. Parents to throw. That one's stolen by Paramo. Big right hand in there to knock that one back to his teammates. It's been good today, has Alejandro Paramo. Man from Cali, Colombia. Played for the Sultanas as well as Jazz Pigs of St. Paul. And here comes Gankar now. Slips it inside back to Paramo. Big Rob now. Going for a run. It's going to take more than one winger to bring him down. Carrying Red Eyes inside the Brevard 22. Alan Gankar this time going backwards. Here's Verdu. Swings it out to Artus. Brevard defense holding strong though. Verdu again. Backdoor to Opperman. Looks like we're going to come over here for a penalty. Pelly's just going sideways, just inside the 22. Now they'll get a chance to knock one inside the 5 meter line perhaps. Referee Hawkins calling over Sugimoto, captain for Brevard. Perhaps a last warning. You have to imagine a last warning before a potential yellow card.
Camera's this way, buddy.
Opperman will just look to knock this as close as he can. And down here a number of times, Pellies. See if they can get this game back to a one-score game. Paramo, another big line-out win for the man from Colombia. He's been strong at the set pieces today. Artus tipped over, legally though. It was just a good low tackle by the Red Eyes. And now Pellies will keep it tight once again. Just looking to ground and pound. That 10 meters out in front of the posts. Big Rob. Taken down. Now Eels will spin it wide. There's some space out here. A good job by Escalera to get in the face of Opperman. Force him backwards. Now they'll try left side. Brevard putting the tackles in. Less than 20 minutes remaining here. A little sloppy there at the back of the ruck from Pellies, and they go backwards. Recycling, keeping these phases going now. It must be approaching 10 phases now. Another big tackle on the fringes by Brevard. Now they'll spin it wide. Verdu. That's a huge tackle by Daria Betts. Came up and met Jack Barrett right where he stood. And the little winger. Showing size doesn't always matter. Siding down the big center. Will be a knock on by the Pelly. That's a huge play. As Uli Skiller goes over to his winger, Daria Betts, to thank him for that monster tackle that resulted in a turnover. That could be a big turning point in this game. Be a Brevard scrum here. They've been under pressure at the scrum. This time, both hook. Oh, and we've had a pop-up by the Brevard hooker, Christian Zelenka. Both hookers came up at the same time, but referee Hawkins determining it was the Brevard man who came up first. Do you take the points here? Let me get you within 8. Still plenty of time remaining. I think perhaps you do. Pelly's having a discussion about it, and they've decided to go for touch. Interesting. It certainly would have been a very makeable penalty inside the 22 for Opperman, maybe just 10 meters to the left of the posts.
I don't know. They've got momentum. They're going to get another penalty down here, so you take the 3 points or you go for the corner.
Other than the try for Escalera, this second half has been all Pelly's, but they've got to turn some of this possession into scores, territory as well. I assume they'll be aiming for Paramo here. No, Paramo is the lifter this time. Artus, taken down. Now they'll spin it wide. Jack Barrett. And another knock by the Pellies in a critical moment. You have to say it's been the pressure from this Brevard backline that has forced some of these mistakes. They've been up very, very quickly in the face of these Pellies backs and have forced the mistakes. And now, speaking of pressure, we'll see how this Brevard front row holds up here. They have yet to make a substitution in that front row, while the Pellies have 2 fresh bodies in there, Gankar and Big Rob. See if they can turn the screw again here, and they are. Brevard get it out quickly though, and Roper will just smash this one downfield. It won't find touch though, instead it'll find the arms of Opperman. 45 metres out. He'll stick it back up into the air with the Gary Owen. Roper there for the free kick and the fair catch. And now Roper looks taken on his own. He's made some interesting decisions inside his 22 in postseason history, Brock Roper. One especially last year that cost him a win over Austin. Looking to lead his team back into the postseason here today with another state championship. Van der Elst. Step inside by Giller. That's a lovely step as well. But then he tried to find Escalera, knocked on first apparently by Brevard, and then by Pellies. Wasn't sure if it was the other way around, but it will be a scrum for Bay Area. Don't forget, coming up after this one will be the D2 men's final. The Bay Area Pelicans A side against the newcomers. It's been a while since we've seen Fort Lauderdale in a championship game. And later on we will have the women at 2 p.m. and then the D1 FCC college final at 4. Do have a stoppage in play here. So we got a substitution for the Pellies. Callan Artis making way. We'll let you know who came on for Bay Area in a second. Yeah. Reset the scrum. We've had some issues at the scrum here, while Brevard have had issues in the scrum in the second half. It's funny because I mentioned first half scrums were very even, but things have been all Pellies at the scrum in this second half. Eels will put it in. Pellies back's in an interesting setup. Caramoy is very flat. Instead goes to Mike Piazza. He's taken down, no sorry, excuse me, that was Arazzini, the right winger. There will be another penalty against the Brevard, excuse me. Didn't quite get the secondary signal. We are lucky we haven't seen a yellow card in this game with the amount of penalties, especially in this second half against the Red Eyes. This time when they go for points, it's a little further out, a lot more central. No, it looks like Apamu will go for touch again.
22's in for 7.
So substitution for Pellies. Number 22 in. Get you his name in a minute. That is Facundo Videla. Facu. Good win at the line out. Finally for Pellies, a good line out win. Slow ball though. Eels trying to dig it out of there. Back to Jack Barra. He's taken down immediately. Opperman. Good tackle by, this time, Sugimoto. The scrum half had another knock on by the Pellies. See it, Brevard take advantage of the advantage here. Now inside their own 22 though, so referee Hawkins likely won't play much of an advantage. Surprised he didn't blow it up there. Brevard, 2 big hits from the Pellies. Brevard going backwards. That's a sloppy pass. Roper with the good hands though. He'll look to break one out here. Brock Roper slithering through tackles, but Pellies with the turnover. As we approach 10 minutes remaining in this one, Pellies 26, Brevard 26, Pellies 15. So we may have another stoppage in play here. We've got a Brevard player down, but perhaps with some cramp issues, yeah. Teammate to the rescue, we'll stop the clock there. Didn't quite get a number before that player went down. Might be Lance O'Sullivan. Might be Matthew Henderson down. We'll give you an update once he gets over this cramp. Van der Elst with the assist on the cramp. So we have another substitute. We have a substitute coming in for Brevard. 7 out, Parron's out. 16 in, Stephen Zaraziak. Was Lance O'Sullivan with the cramp. He's back on his feet though, I think.
That was 6.
Sorry, excuse me. Matthew Henderson with the cramp. Brevard with the big line-out win there inside their own 22. And now look to slow things down. Brock Roper deep in his in goal, waiting for this one to clear it out to touch. Take some more valuable seconds off the clock. That's a great clearance by Roper. All the way out to his own 10-meter line. We have a whistle back here. Penalty to Brevard. Not sure for what. Mark Hawkins signaling offside, now asking them to get 10 meters back, and Roper will certainly take his time with this one, and his team will get the throw in from this line out. Under 10 minutes remaining here. Both teams with one try each in this second half. It was 21-10 at the break. The deficit remains 11 for the Pellies. Will their dream of a double title here die in these final 10 minutes, or can they get within a score, force Brevard to making some tired decisions in these final 10 minutes? Another good claim by Scheimer. It's been huge at these lineouts today for Kiwi Nevins men. This one, Roper now. Puts it right down the throat of number 22 on the pitch now for the Pellies. That's that's Facundo Videla. Couldn't handle the heat on that kick from Roper, and it goes out for a Brevard throw. Wasn't the best of kicks from Roper, but it had enough venom on it. Videla couldn't bring it in. We have a substitution for Brevard. Jordan Whiting on for Matthew Henderson at the flanker spot. He'll be at the back of this line out here. The five-man variety once again for Brevard. Taking their time with this one. Referee Hawkins allowing them to do so. And the throw is to the front. Zaraziak, the man from Leroy, New York, with the claim at the front. Roper with good hands. Slips it inside to Gillard. Dragging Pelly's tacklers with him. Getting over the gain line. So key at this point in the game. Making sure your teammates are running forwards, not backwards. Here's Walker. It's a relatively quiet night tonight. There is an advantage for Brevard. De La Vega not releasing there. Hawkeye is going to give Brevard the penalty, not rolling away. It looks like a secondary penalty after the first one. Not rolling away is the signal. Roper take a few more seconds off the clock here as we wind towards 7 minutes remaining. A score here on this possession for Brevard likely puts this game away, barring any silliness in these final 7 minutes. Kiwi Nevin did say with these three key players out that many of these starters would have to go the full 80 minutes. They've only made just the one sub so far, two subs now, both flankers off. Nice grab there by Lance O'Sullivan. And he'll take it to ground. Sugimoto. John Glennon on the charge. He's gone the distance so far. 44-year-old from East Hampton, New York. Roper. Outside to Gillard. Good defensive job there by the Pelicans, though. Group tackle. Roper again, running the show here. As you would expect from the former Arkansas State man. Say that Martin Parents is still in there. That was a carry there by Parents. I thought he'd gone off just earlier. Lennon. Another big carry by this tight head. Now they'll go wide. Walker shovels it to Gillard. That's a lovely claim by Van Elst. Van Elst inside the 22, goes around the fullback and in for the try. Jean-Eric Van der Elst. Former D1A All-Star, Liberty Conference top try scorer. And that could be the dagger in this one that gives Brevard a second straight D3 title here in Florida. Van der Elst, as he has done all game, showing his quick feet, cutting back inside, leaving Upperman in the dust. And now a 31-15 lead here. With Roper looking to make it an 18-point cushion. With under 5 minutes remaining. couple of subs for the Pellies, but can they find something here? Not with passes like that, they won't. Calvin Eels, the scrum half, taken down. Now holding on, perhaps got away with it there a little bit. Pellies need points here quickly. A couple of subs for the Pellies. I think my mic may have been off when I mentioned them. Diego Veras as well as Bradford Ballard, 21 and 23 on in the backs. Some fresh legs for the Pellies. They need something here and quickly. Under 3 minutes remaining. And down 3 scores. We got some subs coming on now for Brevard. John Glennon makes way. We'll get some numbers for you in a second on the subs. Martin Parents does finally make way. Restart here with the Pellies throw to the front. Brevard weren't really prepared for that, but they did manage to make the tackle. Pellies inside the 22. Needs something quickly here. I see Corey McFarland on for Brevard. The man with the ponytail. We certainly have under 5 minutes remaining, and that will be a big penalty. Hands in on the Pelicans, and that'll end their scoring threat here and probably their threat in this game. Roper will certainly make sure to put this one to touch. Obviously, referee in the middle, Mark Hawkins with the official time. Roper puts this one over the bleachers and into touch here at the Gibson Sports Complex. Don't forget, we'll also have the D2 FCC final on our field behind me at 1 p.m. We will have that streamed as well. I also see Grady Brinkley on for Brevard. Off goes Zelenka, Freiberg, and Escalera. As Brevard getting some fresh legs on here for these last perhaps minute or two. Getting everybody a run in this championship game with the title likely now secure. They go to the front here. It'll be a free kick, perhaps not 5 meters, as Araziak was over the line, perhaps, and you'd think they would just run this one now. Obviously not much else they can do with the free kick. Offerman thinking about going to touch. What? I'm not sure. Oh, it turned into a penalty, excuse me. The initial call was a free kick, and then it was changed to a penalty. Hawkins telling the captain.
He changed to a penalty.
We're hearing some calls from the Red Brevard sideline here. Didn't realize it had been changed to a penalty. It's Big Rob now trying to get over the line. Now this one we're going to go in the other way. Bit of shenanigans going on in the in goal. I'm not sure if players realized the whistle had gone. Both teams trying to go to the front of these last couple of lineouts. Either the throw didn't go 5, it's probably the likely decision. Roper will take the quick tap. Time is up, I think. And now referee Hawkins does point to the center of the pitch. And the Brevard Red Eyes go back to back as D3 champions here in Florida. They will head to the next round in a couple of weeks in New Orleans. And then perhaps on to Indianapolis after that. We'll see. It's a tough fight here. Pellies just didn't quite do enough with the possession and territory they had early in the second half. Didn't put enough points on the board, and Brevard, with the late try by Vander Elst, ran away with it. 33 points, 2-14. We'll be back here in 20 plus minutes or so for the second game, our D2 championship between Fort Lauderdale and the Pellies D2 side. We'll see if they can get some revenge in that one. My name is Ross Davenport. Thanks for joining me here for this D3 final. We're back in a little bit. Cheers.